Where did Starbucks go wrong? This question appeared for the first time in 2007 after the old CEO, Jim Donald, was replaced by the founder of Starbucks idea, Howard Schultz. Today we will answer the question by giving general information, analyzing its performance, social position and external environment. What is Starbucks? It is a roaster and retailer of coffee settled in Seattle, Washington. One of the key persons, like already mentioned, is Howard Schultz. In 2008, the revenue after taxes increased to $10.4 billion and the income fell strong to $504 million. There are 176,000 partners working in totally more than 16,000 stores in 47 countries all over the world. Half of them you will find in the United States. The specialties you can buy there are expensive and have a high grade of quality. That's why Starbucks is mostly only located in areas where people can afford their prices.
Starbucks, as a coffee house, sells a selection of hot and cold high-quality coffee beverages as well as tea. They enlarged their range with sweet and savory snacks. For the typical Starbucks experience in every store, their label, Hear Music, helps to communicate this emotion. The current situation is easy to see as the brand value of Starbucks. Even if in 2008 there were already problems in the company, the value grew. But this year it is official. Starbucks has to change something to go back to their origins. The revenue after taxes is increasing for the last 10 years, but there have been a large retracement of the income in the last year. This is not really surprising. The profit compared to the revenue decreased for the last few years. One of the success factors of Starbucks is the Starbucks experience with its 5 principles, broadly described in the book of the same name by Joseph Michelli. Starbucks had changed its mission recently. Until 2007, the focus was on the brand and the expansion of the company. Now they want to go back to what they were originally. They want to inspire and nurture the human spirit. They pay more attention to their environment as well, especially to the coffee farmers. It is argued that Starbucks are defining themselves too broadly, thus falling into the trap of trying to do all things to all people. This results that the consumer is no longer able to relate to what made the company remarkable in the first place. Strategically, Starbucks should stick with defining themselves as a third place and a coffee experience provider. The brand is no longer what it stood for. There was a conversion of hand-extracted espresso machines to automatic removing control machines from the barista and sacrificing quality for speed, as well as a conversion from stores as a third place into retail spaces. By using pre-baking beans to be more efficient, the shop loses the smell and the theater of the real coffee shop. The brand is no more a symbol for coffee, but a symbol for too many products. The pestle analysis and the Porter's 5 forces model will help to identify where improvements can be made through the current difficult situation. Starbucks is operating nearly everywhere. Only a few countries in Africa, the Middle East, and some parts of South America, countries that are politically critical, are still not acquired. One large problem to focus for Starbucks is the current economic situation. We are in a depression caused by the financial crisis, as coffee, especially Starbucks coffee, is a luxury product. It is easy to cut off these expenses when you have to save money. As a consequence, there were many closures last year, mainly in the United States. You can buy a caramel frappuccino blended coffee in London, Sydney or LA. The products are everywhere the same, but often regional products are adapted. In some languages, the name of Starbucks is even adjusted. A negative example is the former Imperial Palace in Beijing. It's closed the Starbucks shop in July 2007, after its opening in 2000. There have been many controversy because an American company was trampling the Chinese culture. For living the Starbucks experience, Starbucks provides free internet access for customers with a Starbucks card. Like this, they keep the customer in the shops and hope they buy another cup of fresh brewed coffee. There have been some small crises in the past. Starbucks lost court proceedings with Ethiopian coffee farmers, and they were criticized because they were strictly against the trade union. In 2008, they lost a court proceeding against employees due to restrained tips. They had to pay back $100 million. But in general, no of these crises damaged the image of Starbucks. Nearly in front of every Starbucks you can find a bin, crowded with cups from Starbucks. But this is a small problem. They should handle this.
While small independent coffee shops and coffee shop chains like Costa and Nero in Europe, Caribou Coffee, Van Hoyt, Peet's Coffee and Tea Company in Canada and USA appear to be the most obvious competitors, in the last current years, the top ones became McDonald's and Dunkin' Donuts. Both these organizations can compete with Starbucks in terms of sandwich items and coffee-related products. More of a concern with these rivals is their pricing modules. Both are priced less than Starbucks products. New potential rivals are not easy to enter the specialty coffee industry, but because of the low capital requirements, small coffee shops are still present and somehow take part of the clientele. There are various barriers which make difficult the entry of new serious competitors like economies of scale and distribution channels. In the current financial situation, the biggest threat is that customers are choosing less expensive alternatives than the luxury coffee that Starbucks offers. As more substitutes become available, the current pricing model would become more elastic since customers have more alternatives. Potential substitutes include bottled water, healthy juice drinks, and at-home espresso machines. Other substitutes of the coffee are the caffeinated soft drinks. However, in the past 5 years, the increased health awareness of people made this rival not that powerful. Researchers had proven that coffee is the healthier alternative. Coffee is one of the largest traded commodities in the world. Starbucks is directly affected by Central America in terms of production of the Arabica beans they purchase. The bargaining power of suppliers to the specialty coffee industry would be exerted by either an increase in the price of the beans which are used in the production process, or by a threat of decline in the quality or quantity of the coffee beans themselves. An overpopulated market could also give the suppliers more bargaining power. Starbucks needs to be aware of the supplier power and potential price increases. A buyer group is powerful in the industry's product does not save the buyer money. This is a plus for Starbucks, as their coffee products are higher in price and considered as a luxury brand. Starbucks is much more concerned with the quality of their product versus price. However, other considerations is small local coffee companies that were around before Starbucks took over the marketplace. These small coffee shops may have their core customers who will not give their business to anyone else. In conclusion, Starbucks need to reinvent. A plan for reignition the emotional attachment with the customers would be install brewing system that delivers the best coffee, grinding the coffee in-house, an expanded relationship and commitment to ethically sourcing the world's finest coffee. In other words, Starbucks backs to the basics.